There will, in those days, no longer say, the ark of the covenant of the Lord. They will no longer think of it or remember it or miss it or make another. An Israelite hearing that during Jeremiah's time, his head would have exploded. The Ark of the Covenant, that structure first built by Moses in Exodus, which was the symbol, the presence of God among his people, which contained the Ten Commandments, which contained Aaron's high priest staff, which contained the manna that God fed them in the wilderness. All those were signs of God's presence with the people, placed in a structure and carried by the Israelites in battle against their enemies, and then finally placed in what's called the Holy of Holies in the temple. It was a place so sacred that no one entered it except the high priest once a year on the Day of Atonement. The Ark of the Covenant was the sign of God's covenant with his people and the sign of God's deliverance from the Egyptians into the wilderness, into the land they are now occupying. It was everything to them. And almost in a very prophetic way, Jeremiah is predicting that it's going to be gone from them. But what's even more amazing is that Jeremiah says that in the midst of that tragedy, in the midst of that trial, God's going to do something so great that you're not even going to miss it. That's the impact of those words. The very center of your life, I'm going to do something much greater that you won't even miss it. See, like I told the people in Frackville yesterday, Jeremiah is going to be living and prophesying in probably the worst moment of the history of the Israelites, where Jerusalem will be destroyed and the temple will be destroyed and the Ark of the Covenant will be gone forever. That's where he's living in. He's living in a time of trial and chaos. But it's in the trial and in the chaos in which God does his greatest work. Right now, we're in a time of trial and chaos in this country. And you can either take the perspective of doom and gloom, or you can fix your eyes upon God and say, God, what are you going to create out of this mess? Because God does his best work when things are really messy. So much so, like in this first reading, God's going to do such great work that they're not even going to remember or miss that first Ark of the Covenant. And we know that that's going to be the person of Jesus Christ, right? That's going to be the thing that we talk about now. We don't talk about the Ark of the Covenant. We talk about Jesus, God in the flesh. And God continues to renew and create and redeem our messy, our broken lives today. Not just us personally, but us as a kingdom and us as a world. Look up in the time of trial and let God do his greatest work in us and in our nation. May God bless you.